Not really a whole lot. Banjo-Tooie comes to NSO and Nintendo using emulation. Whoa, SpaghettiOs. Okay, so, but before we get into that, fuck, I gotta start all over. Live from the Crazy Cap Studios, this is Fairy Fountain News. I am your host Jaden, aka Slime Boss. Tonight's top stories: Banjo-Tooie finally comes to NSO, and Nintendo using emulation? Bit ironic. Before we get into that, let's thank tonight's sponsors. First, Dubby. If you don't know already, we have been affiliated with them for quite some time now. I finally got my own Dubby, and I tried it. It's very good. I have my shaker bottle right here. So you guys probably... I'm going to hold it right here so you guys can actually see it. There you go. So it doesn't get blocked by the green screen. It's great. It actually works. It gives me energy throughout my day. It's jitterless. And it's a lot cheaper than coffee. I spent almost about $101 every 2 weeks on coffee, and this Dubby is $40, and it will last me for an entire month, and that's what it says. So I haven't even used it for an entire month, so maybe it'll last me for longer, which will save me a lot of money in the long term. So Dubby's great. I can literally tell you firsthand. Again, right now they're doing a limited time only event where they're reselling the canned Dubby. So if you haven't got a chance to pick up your canned Dubby, I would do it right now. Link in the description below, or you can head to dubby.gg and use code CrazyCap for 10% off your order, and you get 10% off regular energy, the Dubby energy cans, and their brand new hydros as well. Yeah. And of course, we haven't had a episode last week, but of course this week I'm going to shout out our Discord server. If you haven't joined already, you can join in the link in the description below, and you can join in on the conversation and potentially come a guest on one of our episodes, and let us know what sorts of topics that you want us to cover on the podcast as well. And finally, this episode is obviously only possible with viewers like you. So without your help, liking, commenting, subscribing, and again, leaving a comment down below on the topics that you want me to cover in our comment section at the end of the video, you help contribute and help towards our goals here on the channel. Obviously, we have a goal of reaching 500 subscribers. I don't know if it's possible to reach that by the end of the year now, but it's something that we want to do. Or, you know, a goal that we ascertain. Is that the right word? If that's the right word. If not, you can always join our Patreon as well, because even at the $1 tier, you'll be getting exclusive content, and again, everything that you do that supports us literally will go right back into making videos. So really appreciate all of your help in getting our goals, and we really appreciate all the support that we've been giving, especially on this show. So anyways, let's get into last week's recap. Obviously, the Mega Game Freak, Giga Leak, Freak Leak, Terra Leak, whatever you want to call it. We've had a lot more information come out from it. I believe the entirety of the XY, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee source code has been leaked as well, which is just absolutely insane, because those are, I mean, I don't even think if we had like the red and blue source code or anything, but this is massive. And for me personally, I always was like, why is there only ever like Gen 3, 4, and 5 like ROM hacks and stuff? Like, there's never any X and Y ROM hacks, which is my personal favorite game. And now it's infinitely more possible because the entirety of the source code is out for anyone to use. So I'm not going to provide links to that stuff, but it's out there. So sure. And obviously something also that's kind of blown up. Two things have kind of blown up since we last talked about it. Number one is the Skyla, like, creative sheet, or whatever you want to call it, where she was literally, before they even designed her, their idea was sexy pilot, and that she would be Latina, and people had a freaking field day on Twitter with this one. So cool, everyone is a Skyla fan now, and there's a lot more Rule 34 on the internet, just what we needed. And of course, the other side of Rule 34 is, well, you either pick the cute anime characters, or you can pick the animals. And on the animal side of the spectrum, found out that Typhlosion's kind of a kitty diddler, and he was invited to the Diddy party. I'm not going to go into full details, but if you know, you know, and it's been a very interesting trying to follow anything regarding the Giga League, so keep your eyes peeled because it's continuing to go over the course of the next week as well. Anyways, we also have that playtest because literally tomorrow we're going to be getting the announcement of what the playtest is going to be. So stay tuned for that next week. But before we actually get into the last piece of news, next week I will be out of town, which means I will be recording. I will be recording like in a different place, so I don't know if I'll have my usual background and stuff. But I will provide and I will release an episode still for you guys, especially if, like, I don't know, maybe the Switch 2 gets announced, or God forbid this playtest gets announced. But if it's an incredibly slow week, I'm not really gonna bother with it too much. But I will be out of town, so we will be in a different setting next week if there's big news. Again, mostly regarding the playtest, but Switch 2 might get announced next week. You never know. Anyways, obviously the last piece of big news is Nintendo's next big hardware. A freaking alarm clock. Ain't got much else to say regarding that. Next up, obviously, is the releases this week. Not a whole lot. We got Super Mario Party Jamboree releasing to absolutely glowing reviews. And to some of my friends that do enjoy Mario Party, I'm not one of them. It is one of the best on the Switch. So if you haven't picked up your copy of Mario Party Jamboree, we highly recommend it. It's, again, literally one of the best Mario Parties on the Switch. Next up, and finally, Nintendo actually released the Joy-Con charging stand thing. Again, people were speculating it's probably for the Switch 2, being that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be bigger, so your Joy-Con won't be able to attach. And again, it's probably going to be using magnets as well, so probably can't connect Switch 1 Joy-Con to the Switch 2. So that's probably what this is for. Either way, it's a really cool addition to your Switch collection if you have a lot of Joy-Con like myself. Problem with it is sold out literally the day that it came out. Same with the Nintendo Alarmo. They're done, gone, zip, zilch, they're gone. So if you wanted one, you can't get one now and you have to wait for a restock. They usually take a really long time to restock, and if they don't restock, it probably won't happen until after the Switch 2 gets announced. So maybe hold off on your money there anyways. But yeah, that's about it for all the releases. Not a whole lot else. But let's get into this week's news. There is a potential Nintendo controller on the way. A lot of people are speculating that it's related to the playtest, but a recent thing had leaked, a patent had leaked that they're going to be releasing a new wave of GameCube controllers, which might lead Prudence to the playtest thing being a GameCube NSO. I don't know. It might happen. But it's really exciting stuff going on. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow what exactly that is leading to. Next up, in terms of... actually, we're going to go ahead and save the big news for the end there. Nintendo did a little bit of a oofy. So if the Nintendo Museum has finally opened up, and people have realized the game demos that they show, they're not on Nintendo Switch. They're on PC. And they're emulating games. The thing that they're trying to destroy, they're using themselves. What are you doing, Nintendo? You're not helping your case here. I don't have any 2 cents on it. I really don't care. But it really shows, like, it's just like hypocritical of them to be going after them and saying emulation is illegal and going ahead and emulating their games on PC. Like, come on, guys, do better. Next up, Astrobot DLC finally has a release date, going every Thursday starting from October 17th to October 14th. 5 levels will be released over these weeks, and you can collect 2. Not only are they speedrun levels, but they're actual levels as well, including, that is terrifying, 2 bots per level for a total of 10 bots with lots of references such as Stellar Blade and Helldivers. So I'm really excited for that personally. I absolutely adored Astrobot. I will be making a review coming at as soon as I'm able to. I'm probably just going to wait until the end of the DLC for that. So appreciate your guys' patience on that. Next up is Banjo-Tooie, finally releasing on NSO. A lot of Banjo fans have been waiting for quite a long time for this one, and it's finally coming out October 25th. So, Banjo-Kazooie fans, I think you're done. I think you peaked. You got Banjo and Smash, you got Banjo 1 on Switch, and now you got Banjo 2 on Switch. What else do you need? You want nuts and bolts on Switch? I know you guys hate nuts and bolts. And finally, in terms of the smaller news, unfortunately, they finally announced that there will not be any story expansions coming to Spider-Man 2. I know that a lot of people were waiting for that DLC expansion, but they didn't even give us DLC for Tears of the Kingdom, so maybe they just thought Spider-Man 2 was just perfect enough as the way it is, and that's all we're going to be getting. However, bigger news here. PC port is already ready to go and it'll be releasing January 2025. The thing that's crazy about this is that the other PS5 exclusive games took a very, very long time to come to PC. This is coming fairly soon here, about a year and some change from the original release. So good for you guys. If you guys really want to play PS5 games on PC, I don't know why you would, but it's there for more options. That isn't anything bad. I just would rather have PS5 exclusive games on PS5. That's just me personally. All right, well, the biggest piece of news here today is that Nintendo got their Direct 2 months ago. PlayStation got their Direct last month, and this month we got ourselves our Xbox showcase for the end of the year. Starting off here, we got Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. It looks interesting, very Stellar Bladey. It's kind of looking like Black Myth Wukong in a lot of ways. So pretty cool to see that there. Next up is FBC Firebreak, a new multiplayer game akin to Content Warning or Lethal Company coming to Xbox. We got another Alan Wake 2 trailer for the DLC. Chronos: A New Dawn has been announced. Following the success of the Silent Hill 2 remake, the Bluebird team... Oh, so they're the people that made the Silent Hill 2 remake have revealed that they're making their own game. So good for them. Obviously, we talked about Pirate Yakuza a few weeks ago. We finally got a new trailer regarding that. Also, I had thought that Animal Well was already on all platforms, but it's actually just now coming to Xbox, so good for you guys. Dunkey and his team have been working very hard on this, so well, I guess he's the publisher, so he didn't really do a whole lot, but good for them and their team. So we really, I just recently downloaded Animal Well, just something I'm going to be checking out here pretty soon, so good that it's now finally on all platforms here. Blind Fire early access starts today. Looks like a generic hero shooter once again with hooded figures and neon lights. I don't know why they continue to do this shit, but I guess that's all that makes money nowadays. You're gonna like this one. Mouse PI for Hire coming in 2025 for Xbox. So it's not just coming to PC, it's coming to Xbox as well. It is a old-timey Steamboat Willie style cartoony Doom kind of thing, similar to like Cuphead and stuff like that. So this is something that me and a couple of my friends have been keeping an eye on, and glad to see that it is coming to console. I'm hoping that it comes to Switch 2 or PS5 at some point as well. Next up is Legend of Babu, which is looking like some kind of Zelda clone with a different sort of tone and atmosphere, similar to like Kena on PS5. So looks pretty cool, interesting. Eden Zero, looking like Sword Art Online. No, Fairy Tail. Oh, so it's made by the same people. Okay, I feel like I've seen this game at some point, maybe in like a Nintendo Direct or something like that. Very, very reminiscent of the Fairy Tail art style. So if you're into anime RPGs, this is one of those for you. Next up is Eternal Strands. Probably just a regular Xbox partner game. I don't know what I think this is an RPG. Not 100% sure. Okay. Mistfall Hunter looking like another Souls-like game with elements similar to Elden Ring coming to Xbox in 2025. We got a indie game in the form of Wheel World. Cool, I guess. You can ride a bike in a cartoony world. You can also go outside and ride an actual bike. I don't know anymore. Oh, here's something pretty big. I know that Phasmophobia was pretty popular for quite some time there. Again, akin to Content Warning and Lethal Company and all those types of games. But it's finally coming to Xbox this month at some point. So that is pretty exciting. And finally, the biggest piece of news for a lot of people is that they announced a Subnautica 2. So I know Subnautica was a huge deal back in the day, and it looks like there's going to be more of an emphasis on a story this time around. So good for you guys that enjoy those types of games. None of this stuff kind of interests me a whole lot, but it was really cool that we finally got a presentation from Xbox this month. So big things coming all around. Pretty exciting week this week. Really mostly excited to see what Nintendo announces tomorrow, but I like to kind of spread my I shouldn't have done that sort of hand gesture, but kind of spread my like we're not just one note here. We're not just talking about Nintendo, right? We're talking about all across the board of gaming. I'm not gonna give you like a list of all the indie games that came out this week, obviously, but you know, having our little bit of talks about PlayStation, because I do own a PS5, and then every once in a while giving the Xbox talk as well. Next year, if we're still doing this show and it comes around to like E3 time, there's going to be a lot of presentations to talk about. So really excited for that. But yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it for today's episode. This is the time where usually the comments would roll in and we would talk about what the comments want to talk about. But we did have one comment. It was just regarding what we had already talked about, not, anything that they wanted me to talk about in the next episode. But if you have something that you want to talk about in the next episode, leave it in the comments down below. Anyways, as always, use our code CrazyCap at checkout at w.gg, and you like, comment, subscribe, and do all that sort of stuff. Really appreciate all the support that you've been giving on this series, and this is I'm very happy of all the support that I've been getting on this series, because it's kind of something I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. So I have been your host, Jaden, aka Slime Boss. This has been Fairy Fountain News, live from the Crazy Cap Studios. Have a good night.